extremely happy because, as I told you, that box office validation is always very important for an actor like me. In this case, especially, it was a real test because it didn't have any ingredients to pull audiences to the theatre because it was very content driven. It was a story of a mother. As an actor at the stage that I am in, because I do such few films, I think it's important for me to build that kind of equity so that people would come and see me on the big screen. The fact that I did the film, it was always decided that it's going to be a theatrical. And when the intention of entertaining the audience is not there, those films land up not doing well. If there is a project being made, or if it's a film just made out of, yeah, let's just do a film since we have the dates. So that always shows.
Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pink Villa. Today we have with us Rani Mukherjee ma'am, who is celebrating the success of Mrs. Strategy vs. Norway. Welcome to Pink Villa ma'am, it's lovely having you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Ma'am, before the release when we were speaking, you said that you like to keep a tab on box office numbers and it is very important for a film to succeed. And now that, with the theatrical run, the film is in the profit zones from all aspects.
Right.
How do you view this run of the film through the last 2 weeks and with many more to follow, holidays in the coming weeks? So.
Yeah, I feel extremely happy because, as I told you, that box office validation is always very important for an actor like me. So it feels good that people are going to the cinemas and they're still continuing to go. So that makes me really, really happy because when a film has a good word of mouth, you actually know that people are liking your film and recommending your film to their friends and their family.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
That was actually my next question. In January there came a Pathaan which blew the box office in a big way, saying that audience are coming to the theatres. And even after that there was this discussion that content film jo hai uske liye audience nahi aa rahe.
Right.
But this film has got that audience also back. How do you view this aspect?
I think a good film will always find its audience. As I've always said, there is a reason why good films work at the box office because people give the film so much love. And in this case, especially, it was a real test because it didn't have any ingredients to pull audiences to the theatre because it was very content driven. It was a story of a mother. The poster had me with 2 children. So obviously youngsters are not going to get very attracted. And there aren't any action or music or songs like that. So the film is predominantly working because of the story and because of how the story is told in the film.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can have a good story for a film, but it might not have the impact that the audience wants from a particular story.
Yeah.
So in this case, they are liking the story, they're moved by the screenplay and how the story unfolds, and hence they are really getting moved by it because any review that I've seen or I've seen the people talking about the film, I think the first thing that they say is that it really moves them.
Yeah.
And it moves them to a great deal. So I think, yes, it is a victory of a good story, it is a victory of good cinema, it is a victory of good intentions towards wanting to make a film for the theatre going audiences, and today the audience has given their verdict. And yeah, I feel extremely grateful and extremely happy
with the entire response.
Yes.
And ma'am, there's one more factor. Do you think theatrical exclusivity is a thing which the actors need to follow today to get audience? Because you have not done any content for OTT.
Yeah.
And there is a conversation that even that helps the film because if people want to see you, they have to come to the cinema. Do you think that helps as an actor?
See, in my case, I'll have to say that it helped me.
Yeah.
I don't know about the others because a lot of actors are doing OTT and theatrical very comfortably.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them doing so well. But I think as an actor at the stage that I am in, because I do such few films, I think it's important for me to build that kind of equity so that people would come and see me on the big screen. That decision of mine has probably worked in my favor.
And you would keep yourself exclusive to theatres because, like you said, you're doing few films, so that has to be for theatre.
Yes, I think I would want my next film also to be a theatrical release. Yeah.
And ma'am, if we look at last 12 years, right, from No One Killed Jessica till now, you have not gone wrong with respect to selection of your script. Be it No One Killed Jessica, Mardani, Hichki, Mardani 2 now, this film. Since you are selective about your script, do you think that gives you more time to select your script and ensure that you don't go wrong in script selection? And does that add on to the pressure as well? I am being selective. People have expectation of a good film. So I have to be.
Actually, it's a lovely question. I think the reason that I take this gap, like, I wait for an audience reaction for my film that is releasing, and then the fact that I stay at home and I replenish myself. I kind of think, I kind of see, cinemas from around the world, what is coming, what kind of work people are doing across the globe, because we as actors, we're always waiting to get inspired as well.
Yeah.
So when I see work from, actors in our country, from different regional cinemas, when I see films that are made outside our country as well, it gives me a lot of inspiration as an actor, as a person from cinema, to be able to do something new,
Yeah.
or to give the global audience a story which needs to be told.
Yeah.
Like, I would always like to be associated with films and stories which I think people should know, So that is my criteria, and maybe it comes not frequently, it takes time. So the amount of time I take to decide my next film, I think that much time it takes for somebody to come up with a story like that as well.
But when you're waiting, is there ever a fatigue that you're reading so many scripts and you're not excited by them? So is there ever a fatigue that you're waiting? But
No, firstly, there are not that many scripts, as people think that there are so many scripts coming our way. I think a lot of scripts are filtered on the way that it reaches us. So not everything reaches us. So it's not as if we are reading so many scripts. It like never happens. We read scripts only if we are interested in, say, the main story plot or the main storyline. That if I feel that, okay, this is intriguing me and like interesting me, then I would read the entire script, there are, like, the days are gone where you would pick up any script and you would read and you'll keep reading. So that doesn't happen. But yeah, I think initially, whenever there is a offer, and if I feel excited about, say, the plot, like the one-liner, or which is what happened with Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway as well, then I would get interested to read a script.
Okay.
Yeah.
And ma'am, when we talk about numbers,
so there is no fatigue.
No fatigue. Yeah, I mean,
there is no fatigue. Because it's always, for me, it is a matter of great excitement when I read a script.
Yeah.
So I would never read a script and get fatigued or get bored by it.
Yeah.
Because I'm an artist. I have to be excited about the job that I'm doing. So I can't go only into the script with the idea of that I'm fatigued. I can't do that.
Of course.
So it's important for me to be like, twinkle-eyed and, okay, now what's coming next? And is this going to be a really interesting script? So I like to read my scripts like that.
And ma'am, when we talk of box office, the film got a platform release. And this is a trend in modern era which was started by Dum Laga Ke Haisha, which saw a small release, shows increased, followed by Uchai, which was again a YRF distribution. And now Chatterjee. How do you view this strategy which is there? Chota release, and then over the weekend, based on demand, the shows are increased.
Yeah, I think that's a good way, because obviously that the producers need to understand that whether an audience is ready to sample a film like this. And obviously with this release, there was so much of skeptical conversation. The skeptics were like, are people really going to come and watch it? Are people not going to watch it? There was so much of discussion. No, they've loved the trailer, but maybe they'll want to sample it on OTT after a few weeks. But luckily for us, because the word of mouth became of a must watch, that people started to sample it immediately. They didn't wait for it to come in OTT, because there's still so much time for it to come in OTT. So I think again, when it does release on Netflix after a few weeks, then of course people will again see it. But the fact is that they've come to the cinemas and they've sampled the film. It's a really huge deal for the time that we are in.
Of course. And actually, that was my next question. When you talk of OTT,
were
there discussions before the release कि इसको OTT पे लाना चाहिए, नहीं लाना चाहिए, and how, what were the discussions like actually in that front?
So the discussions were never about whether we should put it in OTT. I think the discussions with the film, when I signed the film, I was very clear that it has to be a theatrical. Because I somewhere believe that this subject, this film, is a film that will appeal to the masses as well as the classes. It is a story of a mother, so yes, of course it is for a class and a niche audience, but at the same time it also taps into a very universal emotion of a mother's love.
True.
So there was no discussion in the onset only of the fact that I did the film. It was always decided that it's going to be a theatrical. But of course, the skeptic started when other films were not, bringing in the people.
Yeah.
That's when there was a fear, of course, that oh my God, this is going to be a theatrical release. Will people come and sample it or no? So there was never a question that it is going to be an OTT release ever. It was always meant for theaters, and I'm just happy that the producers as well believed in the project
Yeah.
as much as I did. There was never a question that it should go to the OTT.
I think that's the conviction also which has paid off. I mean, even people see through the conviction. I think
Yes.
audience is very
Yes.
smart in that. and ma'am, there is
And so are you all.
yeah. And ma'am, there is so much discussion about Mardani. It's a loved franchisee.
Yes.
Are there discussions for a part 3 of Mardani? Because people want to see you as a cop again in that avatar.
Yes, I would actually love to get back and wear Shivani Shivaji Roy's shoes. But it all depends on the scripting, the script, the story.
Yeah.
And if we do get a very, very interesting story
Yeah.
to go with the third installment, I think it will be fascinating to come back as Shivani Shivaji Roy. Because even I do enjoy playing the role a lot.
Yeah. Through the 26 years in the Hindi film industry, you have seen so many challenges, which includes battling the pandemic and coming up with a content film which gets audience in the cinema hall. What, according to you, was the biggest challenge as an actor in these 25 years, if you have to?
I think I've seen a lot of changes that have happened in the industry over the 3 decades that I've been here.
Yeah.
But at the heart and soul of what we have lived in these years is that we are here to entertain the audience.
Yeah.
Every film is made with that intention. And when the intention of entertaining the audience is not there, those films land up not doing well. If there is a project being made, or if it's a film just made out of, let's just do a film since we have the dates. So that always shows.
Yeah.
So whenever the intention of a maker or an artist has always been towards the entertainment of audiences, those films have always worked at the box office. Sometimes some of those films have not even worked because sometimes the conviction of the director or the mood of the audience is not similar.
Yeah.
But by and large, I've always seen a lot of passionate people in our profession, a lot of passionate creative people, writers, directors, actors, technicians, and everybody lives for that, how this is going to translate on big screen.
Yeah.
So that excitement is what I live by, and it has made my journey in the film industry easy because I live with that excitement. Even though you all feel that I come after a year or 2 years, but in that 1 year, in that 2 year, I am prepping for the next one. I am thinking about the next one. So it is that love for cinema or the love for entertaining my audience that always keeps me going.
Interesting. And I know you have not locked the next film, but could you give us a hint as to what are you drawn towards, like what genre for your next film?
I'll wait because as I've always said that I'm always the one who waits for a surprise coming to her. I never like to choose what I'm doing next because that kills half the excitement. So it's always nice to be surprised with some mind-boggling story.
Perfect. On that note, thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you.